Good afternoon or morning, Living Temple. It's Dave here once again giving you our update for the week. If you don't know me, it's nice to meet you and welcome to Living Temple Church, though it be a little different at the moment. I just wanted to give you guys a few updates and pieces of information regarding where we're at as a church and where we are going forward. The big question I've been getting lately is obviously, when are we going to return to doing Sunday services? And we are really praying about how to do that, when to do that, considering all the government legislation, also what's best for our congregation, and also trying to hear from the Lord about how to best protect our community. So, we are in the process of trying to nut that out. Below in the link, I've added like the workplace plan that we've received on which would guide when we get back. Now, you might have noticed some churches have gone back. The thing that's making it difficult for us is that within our church size, like physical building size, I know the church is the people, but we're just talking about location for a moment, we can have 50 people, which is men, women, and children in total, right? Of those 50 people, that includes everybody. We can't use the kids' church because that's not going to work according to the guidelines. When we come together, we need to sign in and sanitize and sign in like you would at a coffee shop with all the paperwork. And then after church, there's mingling technically allowed, but you have to stay 1.5 meters from each other, which we can't do down the back of our church in that building. And then also we can't actually satisfy the drink and food requirements adequately. So we can't have drink and food. So the way we would end services is by saying, you need to leave now. And that's actually what's going to happen when we eventually get back to services. If these same restrictions are in place, it'll literally be, a 30-minute sign-in time. Then we'll have to use the clicker, and as soon as 50 people are in, and we can't even, have any wiggle room on this, we need to put a sign up the front, you need to leave now. Some of the bigger churches are doing like ticketing systems, but that assumes that everybody's online and knows how to access that, which we don't as a church. And then in addition to that, there's all restrictions on when you can sing and how to sanitize the building and what's required of us as a congregation. And so, although we're praying about when to come back, we're still not going to do it in the next couple of weeks because it just doesn't seem like a wise move. Now, I can understand and I sympathize that this is probably getting a little bit long in the tooth for some of you, not being able to gather together, and I do actually appreciate that. I'm missing people, and I know I joke about this being the best time ever. And on one hand, it's been a lovely rest, but on the other hand, no, it's been a real disruption to a lot of people's lives. So I do look forward to being back together, but at the moment, we're still just going to wait. And if you're frustrated by that, I just want you to consider our demographic for a moment and the amount of at-risk people we do have in our congregation, and we don't want to be the first people to get back at the potential risk of spreading anything any further. I mean, I don't know if you know this today, but in Sydney or in New South Wales, there's more restrictions back on funerals, weddings, religious ceremonies. So even if you have over 2,000 square meters, you still can only have 100 people. They've reduced that back down. And we don't know if that's going to sneak up here. There's another logistical thing that at least 30% of our congregation members come from New South Wales. Now, the other day I went and visited someone in New South Wales and forgot about the roadblock on the way back, just wasn't looking, and I didn't take the sneaky way down Duckett Street or anything, just came down the M1. It was 90 minutes to get from New South Wales back to my house. So, there's a lot of logistics we need to still work out. But, we've said from the start, there are some things in our faith that we need and other things that we like. And the truth is we need God, we need community with Him, we need each other, we need fellowship, but we actually don't need Sunday mornings. We like it. I mean, I like it, and Sunday afternoons I like it. But at the moment, we're not going to start gathering again then. So what I want to do is please encourage you to keep meeting in homes. I'm hearing continual stories of people having great times of fellowship just in small groups, whether they be life groups or lunch down the beach or barbecues or men's brekkies or whatever. Okay, please keep doing that because that's the sort of thing that keeps our church alive, though we can't meet in mass. If nobody's called you and you're starting to feel a little bit lonely, please reach out to somebody. Give them a call and say, look, can I can I come over, do a Bible study? Can we listen to some worship? Maybe you want to hire one of the worship leaders to come and play some worship in your life group for a little while. I don't know. There's lots of ways to supplement what we're missing at the moment. So, from a logistical point, Jess and I are going to keep uploading sermons and ask that you still try to watch them on the weekends together or whenever. But for the moment, we're going to continue as we are. Some of the things that are still going ahead that you can look forward to, Operation Christmas Child. Okay, so every year we pack about 200 boxes for the Samaritan Purse Operation Christmas Child appeal. We're going to be doing that soon, so maybe you want to start getting your boxes together. We're going to still work towards having our church camp in the last weekend of September, and we're planning towards that happening, but who knows what's going to happen, but put that in your calendar. And then lastly, I just want to give you a few shout outs of things that are still happening and people who are doing amazing things behind the scenes. So, last weekend, Paul and Sarah got married, and so many of the crew from church took care of setting up and music and helping out and celebrating together. And it was it was an outdoor event, so it satisfied all the distancing measures. But it's just really good to see the body of Christ working together to make that a special day. I want to shout out to them and the team, and I want to shout out to our admin team. So, over the last couple of weeks, we've been doing our end of financial year wrap up, and that takes a lot of work, particularly with Eliza and Jim and Sue doing the finances. And so, we've wrapped up all the end of financial year information, and the good news is we're back in the black, completely in the black. So we've gone forward financially. I won't give you the exact figures yet because our books are getting audited by an external accountant, even though we don't have to do that by law. We choose to do that just to be beyond reproach. But, when we start meeting again, we'll have an annual meeting and we'll present to you last year's finances and this year's budget. And God's been good. He's been really good. I mean, it was a blessing because there's been the natural and the supernatural coming together to see our church go forward. I want to shout out to the CYC team, actually, because the CYC team, a lot of our younger guys work there, and they've maintained community and kept looking out for each other and, still gathered together for worship in appropriate guidelines, but just not on regular times. And I want to shout out to you guys and Andrew and Eliza for allowing and basically leading that ministry so people can gather. And I mean, it's massive. I want to shout out to our life group leaders who are still meeting. The other day I got a call from someone and they're like, yeah, we're just going down to dinner with our life group on the beach tonight. My life group that I'm a part of, I couldn't do life without it. I meet with some amazing people and I'm so thankful. And so, to the life group leaders or the people taking initiative, to the people, it doesn't mean you necessarily need to be leading life groups, but those making calls, those discipling their kids, those reaching forward and doing, making sure that community still exists in this, this uncertain time. God bless you. Keep it up. You guys are doing fantastic. So that's just our weekly wrap up at the moment. This is going to come to you in a newsletter. So as I said, below is the work plan that we're working with. And then also below is going to be our sermon for this week, which is He is I Am, as we're continuing in that series. And this week we're looking at He is the Master and I am the servant. So I know those announcements are a bit longer than usual, but God bless you guys. We'll see you soon. And please look out for each other and keep pressing into God. Love you heaps. God bless.